Hello there, and you join me as I play and experiment with Pro Fantasy Dungeon Designer and Cartographer. Let's see, where's the text document? Right, it's Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus, and I've added Token Treasury, Battle Maps and Floor Plans, Source Maps Castle, Source Maps Temples, Symbol Set Fantasy Floor Plans, Tome of Ultimate Mapping, Perspectives 3, City Design 3, and Dungeon Designer 3. And this other bit is something done in another bit of software called Dunjon generator. Hope I can tab into that. Where are you? Dunjon generator. Okay. So this is free to use, but I don't know if it's free to distribute. You'll have to check for that. And so this is a procedural generator for 2D graphics. And there's a nice little small one. Dungeon motif. It's got vermin. Has a dungeon size. We can go up to colossal, and it constructs it. It's level 1. You construct, and you end up with this huge. You could print that out and have an incredible campaign. Although, to be honest, I think by the time you've done all that, you'd only get about a quarter of the way before it would they'd be overdone with the level. So it's a bit too big, really. So we go back again, and also to practice, I think. Let's see, what's the smallest we can go? Yeah, that's probably a lot better, to be honest. And what's one? We've got one, a large monstrous centipede in the middle. And this is all just pen and paper based stuff. So you would save that as an image. Right click, save image. And then you could use that just as it is. But what I'm looking at, putting it into Campaign Cartographer by draw, insert file. So I inserted the image there. And Campaign Cartographer is really designed for overland maps, which it does very well. But there's also a dungeon section, dungeon menu. Save now. Yeah, save. And we can go in and we can put down different details in the dungeon, bodies and little kind of atmospheric things. I'm working on getting the scaling. The scaling seems a bit off. Seems a bit massive. And we've got various things. What we've got here? We've got a wall. Corner. And the textures, I mean, they're a bit limited. It all seems a bit limited to me. I'm looking for a lot more exciting textures and rendered textures, which is something we can do in Unity. But on the plus side of this, you don't have to, apart from buying create Campaign Cartographer in its plugins. I got this on Humble Bundle for a good deal. So look out for Humble Bundle deals. And it's fairly effortless. You could do all this in GIMP or Photoshop, but then you've got to find your own images and get them all ready. So having it all ready to go is quite good, but it all seems to me a little bit limited. And also, I've got to figure out the scaling issues. But this is geared up for original map creation, and I am pretty sure you can use this for commercial purposes. That's the whole point, is that you can create these maps and they're your maps. So you can use the dungeon as a kind of inspiration, and then you stick in your own graphics. Although it's got colours on the side there, I would really like to see a texture of a similar level. So you have various different textures that you could just draw in, rather than just pure colour, which I think, that's not going to cut it. Although, if you look at, when you get in there, the detail is really very nice. And, like I said, when you create this, it's your map to distribute. So, I could see this as a thing that you would use to create the artistic renditions of your eventual creation. So, for example, when people pick up a map and look at it, or if they press M for the M button, the map button, you could get something like this, and it would give, a bit more of an artistic looking feel rather than a computer generated one. Although if you do that properly, you can mimic all this. Default code. It's very complicated. It's kind of like a cross between Photoshop, Illustrator, Paint, and a CAD program. But it's a CAD program dedicated to fantasy map making. So I don't know how much time I'm going to put into this. I found the dungeon creator really interesting, but we need to figure out a way of getting from here into, well, for me personally, into Unity. Although, if you're purely going for pen and paper results, you may want to bypass Unity, because it is very complicated, but you do get some fabulous results with it. So this is, the 2D options at least, one avenue to explore. I do feel as if these graphics are a bit, I don't know, it's a word, dated? I don't know if it's dated, but that's not bad actually. And we've got perspectives as well. I don't know if we can bring up monsters there. What's this? We're getting 2.5D stuff. But because these are all allow, you can use these for your own maps, there is a very limited supply of options for you. Like, I feel as if, although there's a lot, it's not enough, in my opinion. Because you need so much for for the tables. These nice chairs. Spatters. We've got any treasure. We've got potions. So small. That could be my problem for choosing this template, which was the one of the larger templates. If I chose a smaller one, things would be bigger. So file, new, save changes now. I can't do those. Dungeons, floor plan, pick a pre. Next, make a smaller one. See if this looks better. Draw, insert file, open, put it in here. I don't even know how to do the move. Right, let's draw it. Should we draw? Okay, so that's a bit too small for the icons, so let's do another one for new dungeon next. 200 was too small, so let's try 500. Draw, insert file, test. Okay. So yeah, that's a bit better. It's a little less horrendous in terms of filling everything up. Let's have a look at walls. Let's see. Dungeons. We've got a wall. It's a bit clunky, the interface. Room. I just got a wall. Oh, traps. Iron Maiden. That Iron Maiden. But again, it seems very small. It goes from too small to too big really quickly. What else we got? Stacks and barrels on top of each other. So I can imagine a lot of fun to be had with this, and the detail on it is really nice when you zoom in. But instantly what occurs to me is that you're going to need more images. Oh, that's very atmospheric. And if you think about how much effort is going to be to do this in Unity, unless you've got a pre-made prefab with all this on, individually placing every bit and piece, yeah, it does have a certain appeal, to be honest. So I'll leave you with that as a thought. Is this something you want to go? Is this a route you want to go down? I mean, one of the things I'd really like to see is procedural integration. So you've got all these toys, you hit the button, and it generates it for you, and then allows you to move. Because I can't even see where the move buttons are actually just dragging individual things. I would create it, then I would export it as, let's have a look, what can we save it as? Can we save it enhanced meta file, all text in drawing, is that? DX file or a DXF file for AutoCAD, enhanced meta file. These will keep the lines, and not just print it. And then I'll try and get it out into something else. But yeah, it's definitely got something going for it in terms of taking the dunjon generator. You copy that, you put it in here, and then you can put your own little flourishes and details in, and print it out. But like I say, to my mind, it just doesn't really cut it in terms of, these are good as tokens for moving around, but I don't know, it seems to be lacking. I really like my 3D and the flexibility you get for sweeping camera angles and stuff. So that was just a quick look at two things: the Pro Fantasy Cartographer, Campaign Cartographer 3 Plus with all its various things, and also online the dunjon generator. And what we're going to do later on is we're going to try and create something similar to this using dungeon, and we're also going to have a look at dungeon architect as well. So hope that was of interest. And this thing, the dungeon generator, is free to use, but I'm not sure about for commercial use. So for commercial use, you need to start looking elsewhere, I believe. This is for fun only, really. And then the fantasy programs, I've had an eye on this for a while because it is commercial use, but you do pay for it. And in particular, this is, like I say, it's designed for overland maps. And cartography is just absolutely a key central aspect of fantasy in terms of dungeons and in writing and books and things. You know, the map is absolutely key. It's the heart and soul of the whole thing. So yeah, interesting, a bit limited, a bit pricey. Get it on Humble when it's available. It looks like there's an awful lot of extra ones there. It could cost a fortune to increase. It's basically a kind of clip art repository of things, and it's all ready to go, so you don't have to spend a great deal of time making your own assets. So you can knock something up pretty fast. But to my mind, just using the free dungeon generator and text is enough for most people's imaginations, and then just, because you don't want to give away too much. But it's always nice, to have properly lovely drawn, illustrated tables and things. That really does lift it a bit. The key drawback, as far as I can see, like I said, is it's all well and good having colours here. Let's see if I draw a box. Choose a colour. But I really want to be seeing. I'm going to draw it. There we go. Okay, it's underneath the painting. But I really want to be seeing textures here. I want a whole load of textures available. Yeah, ground textures to fill in these things. So that's this video. See you in the next one.